Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I have a video that's a little bit different for you. If you've been following along over on Instagram all this week, I've been sharing sneak peeks of the brand new stitching die release from Poshta Designs. I'm doing a little bit of Christmas in this July, and I've been sharing these handmade felt ornaments. And I thought since this release is available today, I would come on here and share my favorite stitching items. Now, last year I started making these felt ornaments for my children, and I was blown away with how excited they were when they received them. And so I've decided to make this a holiday tradition and create handmade stitched felt ornaments for them every year. So last year I started with the Homespun Holidays kit that is released from Poshta Designs every year. And this year I'm starting out with the Homespun Holidays Beautiful Bells kit. And I'm going to give you a look at this kit. This kit is available today, and there are also some other die sets that you may want to check out for creating some adorable holiday themed ornaments. Now, if you're new to felt stitching, a kit like this is perfect because it includes everything you need to get started. It comes in this mesh zipper bag that's great for storage. I use these over and over again for my felt kits. I love that they're nice and sturdy, and inside this kit you're going to find a 21-piece die set. Now this is Beautiful Bells, and it includes your outline die with all of the little stitching holes included, as well as some adorable details to kind of dress these bells up in different ways. Some of these add just stitching lines to the basic bell shape. Some of them can add additional layers, and these can be combined with other die sets in the Poshta shop to kind of dress them up in different ways, including some monograms and some dates. And I'll be sure to link those in the YouTube description. But I love that she's included this large die set. I've already taken them and trimmed them apart and placed them into a storage kit. And this kit also includes 3 rolls of felt. These felt rolls measure 5 inches by 36 inches, and the colors in this kit include ochre, tundra, and sterling. And then you get a couple of squares of a red and a green felt for some of the details that you may want to include, like the holly leaves and holly berries included in the die set. This kit also includes 5 skeins of embroidery floss that coordinate with the colors of felt that are included in the kit, 2 all-purpose needles, and you can see they're safely stored in this little container here. There are some little jingle bells in both silver and gold, and these are a fun way to dress up these bell ornaments. There's also this storage container that includes coordinating sequins and seed beads to dress up your ornaments. This is a fun way to add a little sparkle and shine, and you all know me, I love to add a little shine to my projects. And while this is a little different for me, these sets are great because I can use these sequins, seed beads, and these stitching dies on card projects and paper craft projects as well. Now, Lizzie really has thought of everything in these kits. There are 5 yards of crochet thread, and this is perfect for adding a little topper hanger for your ornament. And finally, there is a printed stitching guide. This is full color, and it's included in the kit, and it gives you ideas for how to use all of these dies in different ways to create different looking bells. And then the second page includes ideas for combining it with an ornament add-on set that's still available in the shop. So here is a look at the kit. I love this because it has everything you need to get started if you just want to try this out. Now, when you're using a high quality wool felt like the felt available from Poshta Designs, it's very easy to die cut. I'm using my Spellbinders Platinum 6 here to die cut this ochre felt. I'm going to die cut the bell outline. I'm going to need a couple of these, so I'm going to show you die cutting with my Platinum 6 as well as die cutting with my Anna Griffin Empress. You can see I am using a standard die cutting sandwich here, and I'm running this through my die cut machine. Now, if you're not getting a clean cut on your felt, you may want to add a metal shim or a shim to your die cutting sandwich. Another thing to consider is the felt that you're using. If you're using a brand other than Poshta felt, you want to make sure that it is 100% wool felt. 100% wool felt is high quality. It die cuts beautifully, as you can see here. But if you're using a cheaper felt that has an acrylic component to it. It does not die cut well. So those are the couple things that you want to check when you're die cutting felt. Now for my Anna Griffin Impress machine, I like to die cut felt into the actual cutting pad, and I like to add a metal shim to that. When I run that through my Anna Griffin Impress machine, I get a clean cut, and you can see I am also using my scissors to trim down. Those Spellbinders Precision Pro Shears are perfect for cutting this high quality wool felt. It gives me clean cuts, and I love those scissors. Now, one of the things I really like for stitching is actually my Pink Fresh Studio dual-ended embellishment tool. You can see this tool actually has a ballpoint end on it, and I like to use that to kind of push out the little holes that the die creates in the felt. Now, you can do this as you're stitching along, but I find that I can see them a little bit better if I punch them out ahead of time. So I really like this dual-tipped embellishment tool for that because it keeps me from poking myself as well. Now, another thing I really love to use as I'm stitching, because I often stitch in front of the TV, is this rechargeable LED lamp that has a little magnifying glass on top of it. You can see it folds down so that it's compact for storage or for travel. I can flip up the opening at the top and use the magnifying glass. There are two settings, so a really bright setting and a more dim setting, and this is rechargeable and cordless. So I can sit with this in front of the TV and use it. This also has a swiveling head, so if I need to point the light in a different direction, I can do that as well. And this has been a great little tool for me as I'm stitching in front of the TV. We often keep the lights a little dimmer at night, and it can be hard to see in the living room as I'm stitching, so this really helps out. Now, this next item, I really had to zoom out to show you the whole thing, but this is the lap desk that I use as I'm stitching in front of the TV. It's actually designed for computer work, but I find this great for stitching. It has a little drawer where I can hide needles and pokey things from my pups because they like to get into everything that I'm doing. It also has a little ledge where I can place my tablet or my iPhone, and I will often sit with this on my lap and place my little lamp on top there. I can use the surface to kind of lay out some of my felt pieces, and I even use that wrist pad at the bottom to kind of poke my needles in to hold them when I'm kind of in between things. Now, here's the little kit I take with me when I'm stitching on the go. I keep my beads in here, the different threads or flosses that I'm using, but this is what I really want to show you. These little scissors are fabulous. Not only are they adorable and gold, but they are TSA safe, and I've carried them on the plane multiple times. They go through security just fine, and I love to have those in this little kit that I take with me. Now, the next thing that I think is a must-have for stitching are these little plastic clips. And I know you're thinking, what on earth do you need those for? But I like to use them to hold my layers together as I stitch them. I will also use them to kind of hold the ends of my thread out of the way as I'm stitching around. Now, I am no expert on stitching, but I find these super helpful. I also find that they don't dent my felt, so I really appreciate that. Now, next up, I like to have these collapsible eye beading needles on hand because they're perfect for adding little seed beads. The eye of the needle actually collapses as it goes through the opening of the seed bead and allows you to stitch it on. And finally, I like to have a little bit of metallic thread on hand if I want to add just a little bit more shine in my stitching. Now, I'm going to start stitching here and just talk to you a little bit about my process and how I like to do things. I do want to mention that not all of these things are necessary for stitching felt ornaments, but they are things that I use and I find helpful, and so I just wanted to share them with you here today. Now, I'm not going to create this entire ornament. I am just going to show you that I am starting out my ornament. I have my die cut pieces. I've used the dies from the Beautiful Bells die set here and all of the felt from that kit as well. And I'm starting out my stitching with just a straight stitch. So I'm going up one hole and down the next. Then I'll go up the next hole and down the next again. And I'm going to continue that process all the way around. Now, this is not giving me a stitch in every single opening. You can see I've been around one time. Now, you can do a back stitch here, but I prefer to just go around the entire oval once and then kind of turn around and reverse course and then go back through the areas where the stitches are missing. So there's two ways to do it. You can kind of do a straight stitch all the way around and then kind of turn around and go back around, or you can do a back stitch as you go. This is the way I prefer to do it. And I find that with most of the designs from Poshta, you really don't need a whole lot of fancy stitches. You just need to be able to do a straight stitch. Now, something else I wanted to mention is that Lizzie does include a video tutorial for those of you who are not super comfortable with stitching. She makes it really easy and she's great at explaining different stitches. But I just really wanted to give you the basics of the felt ornaments that I create for the holiday season and share some of the things that I find helpful as I'm creating these. Now here is a look at all of the felt ornaments that I created using the various dies that are now available from Poshta Designs, including this beautiful bells kit. I'm also using the peppermint twist and figgy pudding. There's a couple of star and detail dies that are designed to go with some previously released dies. There's also a brand new beautiful garden trimmings dies, which works perfectly with the previously released statement alphabet dies from Poshta release. As always, I will have links to all the products featured in this video in the YouTube description below, and you can always find more information over at my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I'll have that linked below as well. I've been sharing these projects all week over on Instagram, where I am celebrating Christmas in July, so I hope you will join me over there for all the festivities this month. I have some great projects to share with you. As always, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed these projects and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of the paper crafting, card making, and other crafting video tutorials I share here. I know this video was a little bit different than what I usually create, but keep in mind that these dies are fabulous for creating paper projects as well. They make great garlands, and I really do enjoy this felt stitching, especially during the colder months. I want to say thanks again for joining me today, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end. You know, if you've made it this far, you are one of my favorites. To subscribe to my channel, go ahead and click the button on the left side of the screen, and here's a couple more video tutorials I thought you might enjoy.